What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Tonight we have more insane reveals. Konami has been on a motherfucking train, yo. We got, listen, yesterday wasn't the craziest stuff. We got like the weird, like jump promo that's like kind of rocket support, and then like a random kind of poopy trap card, revealed for Burst of Destiny. And then before that, we just had just the one off. Oh, I guess we did have like the oh my god, what is that card called? Evil Twin card and stuff like that. But we've been getting like cards revealed every single day, and this is no different. And this isn't even the rest of Burst of Destiny like I might have guessed. This is actually the first reveal for an archetype from Grand Creators, the next deck build set. The artwork looked insane for all three of the archetypes. This one probably looked the most insane. I still love their designs, even seeing the rest of their cards, and they also seem like they're really, really cool. I gave them a quick read over, but honestly, I need to read them over again, and we'll do that together here. So let's get into this. This is Punk. I love the name. I think that's very cool. I hope they keep the name or it's something similar, but we will see. This is Yukioi Punk. We'll just call him Punk. Sharakusai. This is a level 3 Earth Psychic type tuner effect monster. So keep in mind, emergency teleport, target, whatever. Very cool. 1200 attack, 600 defense. So not very beefy, but that's not the problem. You can only use each of the effects of his first and second effects once per turn. You can pay 600 life points. Fusion summon a Punk fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand and or field as fusion material. That's actually a good thing. I know like you may be like, oh, it has to be Punk fusion monster. That's actually good because like we know generally fusion summoning, the mechanic, unless you do it with something like Shadal's, it takes three, like, or not just like, unless you're doing it something super resource efficient with Shadal's, it's pretty bad resource wise, right? You need at least 2 bodies and a fusion spell just to get one monster. You're converting 3 cards to 1. It's pretty neg. But this card takes the spell out of the equation. He is the fusion, which is actually pretty good. Second effect, during your opponent's turn is a quick effect. You can pay 600 life points immediately after this effect resolves. Synchro summon a Punk synchro monster. That's also really cool because he says he doesn't even have to use himself as material for the first effect. So you could fuse with just like 2 monsters in hand, or on field, whatever. Then while he's on field on your opponent's turn, he can just quick effect get you into a synchro. We'll see if that's disruption or not. I honestly don't remember, thinking about the cards that I already read, but still very, very cool. It does lock you into Punks, by the way, so he only fusion summons a Punk. He isn't just a fusion in general, and his synchro summon effect also has to be a Punk synchro, so just keep that in mind. Next up, we have Gagakyu, Punk Wagon, a level 3 Earth Psychic Tuner effect monster, 900 attack, 600 defense. You can only use her first and second effects once per turn. First effect reads, pay 600 life points to add a Punk spell from deck to hand. That's a +1. I actually like effects like this. I know sometimes there are benefits to having effects that trigger like on summon or something, but just the fact that you could have this on field, maybe it gets impermed, you're not able to continue, but maybe you just use defensive cards and this card lives till the next turn. You just activate it again. So free, right? That you can just do it every single turn. Very cool. And it's a +1. Second effect, when a Punk monster you control is targeted for an attack by an opponent's card effects, just targeted, quick effect, you can draw 1 card. That's also pretty good. If they're going to remove a Punk monster, it's going to have to be by battle or card effect. So the only way they don't give you the draw is if they remove it with a non-targeting card effect. But that's actually pretty good if you leave it up. You're just going to get probably just another free draw. So this card's a +1 guaranteed, with the potential, if it stays on field, to be a +2, which we are definitely here for. Okay, nice. Next up, we have Joruri. This is Punk Madam Spider. This is a level 3. Also, her design's very cool. All of their designs are really cool. So cool. I love their designs. Okay, pay 600 life points to add a Punk trap card from your deck to the hand. Again, 3+1. Very nice. Hopefully the traps are pretty good disruptions or engine cards. Maybe like a quick fusion would be cool. Or synchro. Second effect, when you activate a punk card or punk card effect, that targets a card your opponent controls. Quick effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and half its attack until the end of this turn. Again, nothing crazy. I like this one because it does rely on you a little more than your opponent. You know, when you have effects like this, sometimes as long as your opponent could just work around them, they don't have to trigger anything. So I like that this one is based on what you're doing, not what they're doing. But still a +1, adding you a free trap. Well, not free, I guess 600 life point trap. And then the other effect, I guess, can just be nice for getting extra damage, getting over a specific monster that's pretty big. You know, very nice. Next up, no punk seaman. Come on. Level 3 Earth Psychic Tuner effect monster, 600 attack, 600 defense. You can only use its first and second effects once per turn. First effect reads, you can pay 600 life points to add a punk monster from deck to hand. Again, very good. This one particularly is good for the fusion summoning effect of this guy up here. Just helps you load another copy into your, another like monster into your hand. It's very good. Unfortunately, so far what I've read, none of them are extenders from the hand though. So if you had to use your normal to get this out, you're not going to be able to get any of those out, but we'll see. If this card is sent to the graveyard, period. Oh, okay, period. Target a punk monster you control and it gains 600 attack. Okay, nothing crazy, but one thing that this is super interesting is this is just generically when it's sent to grave. So if you use this for a synchro or a fusion summon, this can actually chain block the fusion or synchro if they have a monster that an effect that activates on summon, and that can actually be very, very good. It lets you play into boards with like raw negates, and they don't have like a way to negate and destroy your new monster hitting the field. They have to negate this, and all this is doing is giving you 600. So very nice. Next up we have no punk Foxy Tune. This one's actually a level 8 light beast. Wow, beast, interesting. Very cool. And level 8. This is 2300 attack, 2600 defense, so pretty nice stats. First and second effects are hard once per turn, but there's 3 effects here. First effect, you contribute a punk monster as cost to special summon this card from the hand. Okay. I mean, it's level 8, so if you're going to do a synchro summon, they're all tuners. This does get you to the 11. That way, if you had like 2 of them on field, tribute 1 for this, and there's your 11. Okay. Second effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard as cost. And then as on resolution, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon a level 8 or lower punk monster from the deck. Very interesting. Okay, so pitch this card as cost, which I like that you don't have to pitch 2 cards as cost. If you do get ashed on this or gamut or whatever, you don't have to send the second card. So you maintain that in hand, which is nice. And pulls a punk out of the deck. And all the punks, I'm assuming most of the punks you're going to be going for are the ones that just like add you a free card anyway. So I'm not too beat up on this. You're going to make up that resource pretty immediately, I would imagine. And so that's not the worst. And the third effect, once per turn, when this card destroys a monster in battle, you can gain life points equal to the original monster of the attack of that monster. Okay, nice little bonus third effect. It's 2300. You could get over a good amount of stuff just to gain some life points, maybe in time, scoop up a dub, but fine. The main effects obviously are the first 2. Has a way to get itself on field that's fairly easy, has a way to pull another monster out of the deck. It does require 2 cards to get 1, but then you get a search after that, which is not bad at all. Cool, very cool. I think this could definitely be a useful card depending on like the way the deck wants to combo off. Could definitely be pretty good. Then we move to our first extract monster. One thing to note here also is this is number 5, and those are like 5 monsters in a row. This card is number 7, so we're missing number 6. So there's either like another big extract monster, or there's another fusion that needs to go in front of this. We will have to wait and see, but that is definitely a card will get revealed later. But this guy here is Ukiyo-e Punk Carp Rising. This is a level 8 water fish fusion. 1000 attack, 2600 defense, so big booty. It requires 2 punk monsters specifically. It's specifically punk based. You can only use both of its effects once per turn each. The first effect says you can tribute this fusion summoned card Special summon up to 2 level 8 or lower punk monsters with different names from your hand or deck in defense position. If this card is used as a material for a synchro summon, you can target a punk monster you control this turn. It can attack twice during each battle phase. Okay, so really the second effect isn't too impressive. Like the double attack, sure, can be nice for damage, can be nice for clearing multiple monsters, can be nice for trying to OTK. That's fine. Really the first effect is where this card is doing its damage though, right? You're just going to attribute this card as cost to summon 2 level 8 or lower punks. Assuming you haven't used either of their effects, you would get 2 more searches after that. So you're going to make this guy by using this guy and 1 other monster. So you're putting 2 cards into him, then he tributes himself to get 2 cards. And because they're now on the field, you can then search for 2 new cards. So you're literally starting with 2 cards and ending with 4 because of this card. Now, if you get ashed on this, it seems like it could be like a turn ender for sure. But I just think value here is pretty crazy. And I guess you're not putting like everything into making this card. You're just putting 2 cards in hand. So that's not the worst either. Okay, nice. Next up we have Ukiyo-e Punk Amazing Dragon. This is the level 11 Wind Serpent. So I believe this is the cover card for the archetype. This card with the crazy artwork. So cool, so pretty. Okay, this is 3,000 attack, 2,800 defense. Like I said, level 11 Wind Sea Serpent. It's completely generic. Takes any tuner and any non-tuner. And you can only use its first and second effects once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target a number of cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names in your field, on your field and in your graveyard. Okay, level 3 psychic monsters, very specific there. Return those cards to the hand. Okay, so assuming you're making this card, you probably at the very least have 2. I guess there's probably a way where you only have 1. But generally it seems like on summon you're going to bounce, 2, maybe 4 cards. I like that it's any card as well. Very, very powerful, especially considering our main boy up here has the quick effect to do a quick synchro on your opponent's turn. So if you quick synchro into this guy, he can trigger then, and that seems pretty dang good, right? Also, second effect, you can target a punk monster in grave except for itself and special summon it. Okay, so this is just also once per turn monster reborn. That is insane follow-up, for sure. Definitely good. The only thing I'd say is it's not great to make turn 1. Like, what are you going to make this turn 1 just to reborn a punk and then use the effect and then try to synchro and then like fuse it off or something? That seems weird. So I guess that's more of a follow-up after you've already summoned this card on your opponent's turn. It's cool, but it does have to be summoned on your opponent's turn, and sometimes stuff like that can be like really rough when you're trying to interact with a deck like Sky Strikers that might have easy Widow Anchors and they just negate your guy that's trying to do the quick synchro, and you can't even get into this. Or on summon, they're just trying to hit you with this. So it can be kind of tough, but I do think it is a good card, all things considered. Next up, we have Gagaku Punk Wild Picking. This is a continuous spell card. You can only use the first effect once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if your punk monster is battling an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. Okay? If this card in its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, punk monsters you currently control cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay, like, I don't think that second effect's really that great. It's not much of a punish. I wish this was more like a they could have made this like a less good Draco like spell or trap. Like if this card is sent to the destroyed by an opponent's card effect, like shuffle 1 card your opponent controls back into the deck. They'd have to beat it by destruction, but it really does deter them from doing it because that is quite a punish. Other than that, I think the first effect's actually pretty decent. It makes it so like any punk monster outs any monster, it's destruction, but it's non-targeting. So I would take that. It just means the spell girl's actually like an out to something going second. It does apply some pressure going second for sure. Immediate just, hey, do something or I'm taking out your biggest monster. kind of cool. Nothing crazy though, probably just a one-off. It's continuous, so. Next up we have Gagaku Punk Crusher Beat. This is a continuous spell. Again, you can use the first effect once per turn. First effect reads, if your opponent activates a card or a card effect that targets a punk monster in your possession, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So this is also kind of interesting, right? If there are decks in the current meta that really need to target stuff, I think about Sky Strikers. If they want to use Widow Anchor, in your possession. Okay, so if they want to use Widow Anchor, Afterburners, I guess those are the two big ones I would say. But Widow Anchors, I mean, without Widow Anchor, their strategy is like so awkward. You do get to like punish them with a pop, and it's continuous, so it's every turn. If they want to continue to try and use Widow Anchors, we're popping something every time. So that's not bad, although it is matchup dependent. You know, all it takes is a deck like Tri Brigade. They can just use the Lmk 4 and work completely around this, but not bad. Second effect, if this card and its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, punk monsters you currently control cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. Meh. Again, this is like super underwhelming. I felt like they could have easily made these much better. Like, just make them like the Draco spells. Maybe not so that you can send them as well, but just say if this card leaves the field or is sent from field to graveyard by an opponent's card effect, at least, I don't know. I guess that only really adds like sending to its like outs. But Draco traps don't get triggered by shuffling or banishing anyway, so, or bouncing. So this could literally have just said, if this is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, pop one spell or trap, one monster your opponent controls. Like, I don't know. That's so, like, their second effects are so underwhelming, and their first effects are like kind of like matchup specific. So I don't know. I honestly don't love these that much. I was hoping there'd be like a good, like a crazy fusion spell for the monster that searches you a free spell, but honestly, this is making like the spell searcher like look like the weakest one for sure. All right, now we're gonna finish up with, I think, two traps. Yeah, two trap cards. We start with Jirori Punk Dangerous Gabu. This is a normal trap card. You can only activate it once per turn. Target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects for the rest of this turn. Then, if you control a punk monster, gain life points equal to the targeted monster's original attack. Not bad. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just an imperm, but it's searchable imperm and gives you life points. So in time, it could be pretty good. Or just if you're low on life points and you're in kill range, this could slightly get you out of kill range and force your opponent to go through different, combo lines to get you there. Very cool. Next up, Jirori Punk Nashiwari Surprise. Normal trap card you can only activate once per turn. Target one face down card your opponent controls, or if you control a punk monster, target a face up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, so if you don't control a Jirori or a punk, what I like is this still can just be a pop a face down card. Obviously that's usually going to be back row, which is fine. So it's back row removal in Archetype, so we don't lose to Mystic Mind game one automatically. But if you have a punk, which you're going to most of the time, pop anything. It's pretty good. We have a negate something on field. We have a pop something, which gives you pretty good points of interaction, all things considered. I think the traps are nothing crazy, but they get the job done. If you're going to get a free plus, these are legit interruptions to be getting. I like that you don't have to pop your own card to do something. This just says pop something. This just says negate something with the bonus of getting life points. So very cool. I do think this is a really nice start. You guys have to keep in mind that like deck build packs rarely have like meta decks come out right out the gate. Sometimes they need a couple sets. I mean, look at Evil Twins. They're literally gonna get this Lmk 4 and they might be like a legit meta deck now after they've gotten what, 4 cards like outside of their original set. That's just how it is sometimes. So I really think this is a solid base, right? You've got a guy that fusions and synchro summons for you. You've got a girl that searches your spells. You have a girl that searches your traps, and you have a girl that searches your monsters. This guy summons 2 from the deck. This card seems like a decent extender. Your boss monster is pretty good if you can quick summon him on your opponent's turn. I really do think it's a nice start. And then obviously you have the traps. The spells I think were the biggest underwhelming thing, which makes the girl who searches spells underwhelming. But all they need to do is just make like a really crazy like quick play spell that lets you like quick fusion or quick synchro or whatever. And then I'm back in on it, right? Like then I'm like, okay, that's a really good search target. If we can just get to her, that's pretty good. But we'll see. I'm definitely into it. I'm definitely into it. Really cool start. Like I said before, oh, one more thing is I think there's only 12 cards here. A lot of times we've been getting 13 cards per archetype in the deck build sets. So there could easily be a 13th card, which I guess here would be a trap. As well as, like I said before, we do not have the 6th card. So this is either going to be a fusion or another big main deck monster, most likely. So keep that in mind. We still could have 1 or 2 more cards to be revealed, and we know how this can go. It could change the whole archetype and just bust it wide open. But it seems really cool. It seems really, interesting so far. I think it has definite potential. We just got to see what Konami wants to do from here. But very, very cool. Very excited to see what the other 2 archetypes do. We'll probably get those pretty quickly. I would imagine we're actually not that far away from this set coming out in the OCG, so definitely keep an eye on this. We'll probably get some of the other archetypes revealed in the upcoming weeks, but very, very, very cool. I'm enjoying this start so far. The artwork looks awesome. The effects look really interesting. Can't wait to see where they go. But that's going to do it from here today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry the video gets a little long, but whole archetype reveals just get me going, and I want to talk about it. I really want to go in depth on the review, so thank you so much again. Subscribe if you haven't. You want to stay up to date on all Yu-Gi-Oh! Reveals. We got the rest of Burst of Destiny coming. We have 2 whole new archetypes that look awesome to be revealed for this set, and I cannot wait. So sub up if you want to see that stuff. I also have deck profiles coming for some stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I love you. Peace.